Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. Right now, you guys are looking at Jankos and Perks up on the screen. These are obviously two very, very good friends who spent some awesome years together at G2 and had a ton of success. And honestly, I think we could see these two guys reunited, playing together once again sooner rather than later. That's what we're going to be talking about today. But first, a word from today's sponsor, which is Thrive Fantasy. They set up this really dope landing page. As you can see, this is Thrive Fantasy by I Am Germ, and they actually have this awesome contest going on this weekend called the I Am Germ LCS Friday Free Roll, where for absolutely free you can win up to $100 worth of cash prizes that they are going to be giving away, which is super cool and really awesome of them. All you got to do is select 5 of these props, rack up as many points as you can, and you can get you can win some cash. One of the props that I am looking at this weekend that I'm really excited about is Destiny over or under 4.5 assists against Team Liquid. Now, Immortals has been looking better and better week after week. Destiny is coming off a Player of the Week performance where he was really pivotal for IMT, and I think IMT actually has a chance to pull off the upset against Team Liquid. So here in this one, I am absolutely taking the over the 4.5 assists, and I think I'm going to be getting an easy 90 points, but we'll just have to wait and see. If you guys are interested in trying out Thrive Fantasy, use the link in the description below and you can join this free contest. And if you want to put some money on Thrive Fantasy, will match your first deposit up to $100, or you can use code GERM and get that same deal. So I hope you guys check it out, and remember to prop up. Now, getting into today's video, we're talking about this. Perks has been tweeting about Jankos a significant amount recently. Now, this one was his birthday. He said, "Happy birthday, baby. Good luck this weekend at G2 Jankos." He tweeted out this picture, and it's just a happy birthday post. You don't want to read into that too much. You don't need to look into that too much, but that's what we do here. We dive into stuff, we overreact, we're looking for the drama, we're looking for the scoop, we're looking for the news, and it just gets me thinking more and more about C9 Jankos and how it really could go down. And when I think about this, and when everyone thinks about this is not some super hot take that I came up with. I've been pushing it, and I have been talking about this more and more. We heard rumors this past offseason. Perks himself said he heard that maybe Jankos wants to play in North America at some point during his career. There's a lot of people saying that Jankos probably doesn't have too many years of his career left because he's getting a little older. He's one of the older pros, and he has a lucrative streaming career ahead of him. Why would you want to keep grinding out professionally when you can just go stream and make a bunch of money? So maybe he's headed to NA next year, maybe the year after that, who knows? But G2's kind of having a down year. They didn't win the LEC title in the spring. They didn't make it to MSI. They're not really the favorites to win this title in summer either, so maybe the players could start looking at other options. Maybe they could start looking other directions. And for Jankos, he could come to NA, secure an absolute bag for a year or 2 or 3 or whatever, make a ton of money, get to play with his friends Mithy and Perks on Cloud9, and maybe they could honestly do a lot of winning as well. They could win some LCS titles. They could go to MSI. They could go to Worlds, and maybe they could still, find some success, which I think would be very interesting. Obviously, the thing here is that Cloud9 has Blabber, but this is the second summer in a row where Blabber has not looked as good in the summer as he did in the spring. He's won back-to-back MVPs in the spring split, and then kind of looked like a middle-of-the-pack jungler in summers back-to-back. He even lost a game on his Olaf this past weekend, which, he's looked really good on Olaf. His Olaf stats are insane and everything, but that's usually a champion that he's able to come up clutch with, have big carry games, and, the fact that they're just dropping games even with his Olaf is not a great sign, because his other champions haven't looked so great either. So I think it is kind of interesting. Cloud9 could potentially want to move on from Blabber. Who knows how that's going to go. I think Cloud9 showed us their hand a little bit already when they swapped out Sven for King, because obviously what that did was, if Sven is not in the lineup, King is a resident player in North America, that opens up an import slot for them. And that import slot could be used to bring in Jankos. Now, obviously Sven is back in the lineup, but they've already showed that they're willing to bench Sven before to potentially see if they can open up that import slot. So this is something to definitely look out for, and something that I definitely think could happen. And the tweets coming from Perks did not end here. Also, before this one is what first kind of got me started talking about this stuff. Is he said that when he retires, he's going to make a podcast with Jankos. He'll call it the Friendship Union. And this just got me thinking, like, Perks is obviously really good friends with Jankos. He really likes him. He is probably, trying to coax him into coming to North America. He's probably talking to him about it sometimes. Maybe not during the season, but especially in this offseason, he could maybe do a little bit of recruiting. He could do a little bit of talking. Maybe Jankos is asking him, how he likes North America. You know, I see the amount of money you're making and all that stuff. How's it going? How's Cloud9? I think there really could be something here. Obviously, I did have a tweet on here, and I said I got a feeling that there will be a friendship union sooner than that. Obviously, playing off his tweet a little bit. Got 49 likes. You know, that's, for me, that's solid. That's decent. But obviously, there was some people who agreed with this take as well, which kind of made me want to make this video. I've had more and more people commenting on my videos, talking about the potential move of Jankos to North America next year. Now, obviously, in this scenario, G2 would need a new jungler as well. I don't really know who that's going to be. There's been some rumors and people talking about like G2 inspired. There's been people talking about G2 self-made. Maybe G2 goes in a new direction entirely. I don't know for sure, but I know that Carlos saw how much money he was able to get for Perks last year, and he knows that he could get another bag for Jankos this year as well, and I think that's something very, very attractive and very, very appealing to him, especially if his team isn't really a world championship contender, which right now this G2 roster, this G2 iteration, is absolutely not playing like that. So, you know, Perks has been tweeting about this a lot. He's been talking about it. There are more and more people, you know, kind of, especially on this one, I know there's tons of people tweeting pictures of Perks and Jankos together, tweeting, you know, them in Europe, in the LEC, in the EU LCS, and saying how they're their favorite duo and saying how they'd love to see them together again. And everyone says they need to play with each other at least one more time. And Jankos is under contract with G2, I believe, until 2022, so I think he has one more year on his contract. Perks is under contract with Cloud9, I believe, until 2023, so, you know, it's not like Perks is going to be leaving Cloud9 anytime soon. It would have to be Jankos coming over to North America, but I think it looks more and more likely, especially when you look at, like, the LCS standings right now, and Cloud9 is tied for third. I mean, depending on whether you think they're better than Evil Geniuses or not, there's a world where you could make the case that Cloud9 might be the fourth best team in the LCS, just as far as regular season records and stuff go, especially when you take into account that Cloud9 came into the summer split with the best record in the LCS. So the fact that they've been passed up by two teams and tied by another team means that these teams are really outperforming them in the summer, because these teams were all fighting from a deficit coming into the split. Now, TS700 Thieves are only 2 games up on them. It's not an insurmountable lead or anything like that, but Cloud9 has not looked like the Cloud9 of spring. They have not looked like the LCS champions. They really haven't even looked much like that team that we saw at MSI that beat RNG, that beat Damwon Gaming, anything like that. So this whole scenario depends so much on what the playoffs mean for Cloud9, what the playoffs mean for G2, because there is a world where G2 and Cloud9 both do not go to Worlds. Now, maybe just G2 goes to Worlds, maybe just Cloud9 goes to Worlds, and even in those scenarios, if G2 and Cloud9 go to Worlds and don't even make it out of groups or have a bad showing or lay an egg, or maybe they don't make it out of play-ins or something like that, there could still be some changes. There could still be moves coming. But, you know, each LCS or each League of Legends offseason is always crazy. There's always huge moves. There's always big things going on. And I really think Jankos could be one of those big names on the move this next season. Now, there's obviously a couple of different landing spots for Jankos, and he could honestly just retire and stream too. But again, these two guys are really, really great friends. Perks, I really feel, would be open to the idea of playing with Jankos once again. It would be interesting to see if Jankos is open to the idea of coming over to North America, but I think this is definitely something we could see happen. But that is pretty much it for this video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I'd appreciate it so, so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think about C9 Jankos? Do you think it's possible? You think it's impossible? You think it's going to happen? Not going to happen? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Consider checking out my Patreon over at patreon.com/IamJerm. Remember to check out Thrive Fantasy. First link in the description below. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.